Chris Tarrant and I decided to come over to Ireland for a bit of winter piking. As you can see, it's pretty cold, the water's cold, and that means the pike won't chase lures very much. What we're doing is we're fishing dead baits and we're anchoring them to the bottom, and we're fishing floats and hoping that these pike will pick up our dead baits and we'll get a few decent fish.
It probably looks very, very nice this on a wide screen. I can tell you it's absolutely freezing cold. We're right in the middle, about 20 miles from Cavan. We're just outside Belturbet. Winter pike fishing. We've caught quite a few pike today. One of them was actually, I think, was the smallest pike I've ever caught. We've had a few decent ones. When I first came out here, which was probably at least 30 years ago, we fished mainly for the tench, which were great and still are in many of the lakes. So many waters here to choose from. We fished for the hybrids. Friends of ours fished for lots and lots of bream, huge catches of bream.
Like a lump of lead, that.
And still there's a lot of roach in this part of the river. But in recent years I've fished winter and summer here for the pike. I've never had a huge pike. I've had quite a few over 20. I've seen some very big pike caught. I lost a huge, this is not an angler's tale, I lost an enormous pike over in the southern central Ireland about 4 or 5 years ago. The bait was just too big, and in the end this massive pike just threw it out. And that was kind of heartbreaking. But I've had great times over here. I love the fishing and I love the people. They always say the crack is mighty. The crack in Ireland is amazing. They're all ever so slightly potty, but so many friends over the years have made. And you come back to the bars a year later, hello Chris, how are you, how's it been? We're always made so welcome. There's one up the road we use on this trip called the Angler's Rest. The steaks are the size of buffaloes, and there is Guinness, awash with Guinness. We've had a great time. We haven't caught huge fish, we've caught a few fish. Some of our friends have got very big fish over here in the winter, same as in the summer. So we're having a pretty good time, and we'll give this right till sunset and then we'll go to the pub.
The winter coarse fishing is also good still, but you've got to approach it in a different way. In the summer months you use plenty of bait, feed frequently and get those fish really feeding. In the winter months the fish's metabolism drops down so they don't feed so hard, so therefore you use much smaller hooks, far less feed, but you use smaller baits as well. So you might just use 1 or 2 maggots on the hook instead of a big bunch during the summer months. Now Baz Smith has been fishing this method during very cold weather recently, and he's had loads of roach, and roach really in the winter months are our target species. Well, yesterday was pretty cold, but we still managed a couple of pike, and overnight we've had snow. Look at it, it's absolutely beautiful. Typical wintry conditions, and it's perfect for fishing for pike. So I've got a couple of dead bait rods out. We know there's some pike here. We just want a decent one to move in, and hopefully we'll have a bit of sport. These marina areas on places like the River Erne are perfect for overwintering pike. You get an awful lot of bait fish here, so a lot of roach will hang around in the safety and the calmness of the boats around the marina and jetty areas. So little backwaters like we're fishing here are perfect because it brings in not just one but sometimes a shoal of pike, and I know that they'll be ready to pick up these saltwater dead baits or maybe roach dead baits off the bottom, and hopefully we'll get a bit of sport. When I say a shoal of pike, we know that these Irish pike hunt in packs at this time of year. So any sort of backwater, any marina area, anything like that are the places that you really want to target in the winter. Although it's the middle of winter and we're expecting to catch on the dead baits, there is still a chance that they might have a fly, because these fish will probably never ever have seen a fly before, and if they're a bit active, sometimes it can just wake them up and it can trigger a response. So I'm just going to have a few casts with a fly, and quite often it will make a fish take that otherwise can't be bothered. Now when the water's warmer, lures really do work well out here, and people like Gord Burton are fantastic at fishing lures, and he's had some great sport.
Now when you're fishing these jerk baits, I cast them as far as I can, letting them sink all the way to the bottom, and cause the chartreuse, fluorescent orange, red hot perch, those are colours that stand out in the deep. The pike can see those, and for that reason, that's why I use them. They're great deep water colours.